What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. I'm your host, Matt, and on this week's episode, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I've done before. I am going to do an alphabet draft. So I'm going to do an A to Z challenge of musical songs exclusively, and I'm going to pick my favorite songs of them. Now, it's not a true challenge, I guess, because I did already make my list ahead of time. So, what I'm going to do, because some songs it's just spoiled for choice, and I'll talk about it as I go through, but I'm going to draft the first class, go through A through Z, my number one pick, favorite song that starts with that letter. Then I am going to do a second round pick and do what was second up in there, because some of these letters, there's just too many good songs to choose. And you know me, if you've been listening to the pod for a while, I love when I have a draft. Gotta have an honorable mention slot so I can weasel in my other picks. So 26 letters in the alphabet, 26. Wow, I can't talk. So that's a fun start, but the whole pod won't be like that, or it could be. So buckle up. Let's start out with A. My pick for A is going to be Alive from Jekyll and Hyde, particularly the Complete Works album. I absolutely love this song. It has so much energy, hits so many of the right notes for me, so much passion, emotion just coming through it. And so that first off the back, that's going to be my pick for A. I guess I should clarify songs that are like a blank or the blank. I'm not counting those, like those little words that you learn what type of words those are in grammar class, and then you forget about them when you are an adult. That's what I'm doing now. Those words, I am not counting those. That would be cheating. So Alive from Jekyll and Hyde, that's my favorite song that starts with the letter A. For B, we'll revisit this in a bit, but Bloom from In Pieces, the Joey Contreras. It's a kind of concept album right now. It's a highlights album is what he has out there. He's been doing constant reworking it. You can license it and put on one of the original versions of it. It is available for licensing, but he's been doing reworks, and he's going to be doing at the end of March, I believe, this month, or maybe it's April or May. Bad. Should look at it. He will be doing a number of sold out shows over in the West End in London. I was this close to trying to, if my life was a little bit more normal and work wasn't crazy and other stuff wasn't crazy, I was so close to trying to get tickets and going to London to see it, because I love the show that much. So Bloom, one of my top 3 songs from the musical, from the highlights album, had to be on here. So that's my pick for B. Antonio Cipriano's voice is one of my favorites out there, and he's been in some amazing things. He was in Jagged Little Pill on Broadway, so he's on that cast recording. He was in the A Week Away musical series. He's been in so many things. Amazing voice, talented. If you haven't listened to Antonio Cipriano, you're missing out, and you need to go do that. And Cipriano leads me to C, the next letter in the alphabet. And this one, I'm going to go with Champagne from In the Heights. Lin-Manuel Miranda's kind of first musical that took off and won him some acclaim. This is one of my favorite songs in the musical. I talked about it when Brad and I were talking about the musical and did our review of it. Champagne, just that end of the story with Vanessa and Usnavi. I love the story that song tells. One of my favorites. D is one that I feel like it is cliche, but I have to go with Defying Gravity from Wicked. It is such a powerful ballad, a powerful song, so amazing, an anthem that I gotta pick it. I gotta have that being my first pick for the D song. For E, I'm going to kind of cheat, and I'm going to take all the epics from Hadestown. Jack Wolf put out versions of this on YouTube of him performing in a church just with an acoustic guitar, and it is amazing. I love Jack Wolf's voice as Orpheus. And if you've been listening to the pod for a while, I fell in love with Hades Town when I saw it live. And so all the epics are going to be my pick for my E song. Specifically, Epic 3, if you're going to put me in a box and make me choose one, but all of the epics. Amazing. For F, I am going to go with Freeze Your Brain from Heathers. One of my favorite songs from this musical. It's keep getting its run extended off Broadway. The tour will be starting up in the UK later this year and then creeping into the US in 2027. I'm hoping I get that on the next bout of Broadway season announcements around me. I love the Heathers musical. Freeze Your Brain is my top song from it. Let's move on to G. You know what? I didn't like double check. I'm like, oh shit, I hope I actually remembered the alphabet correctly when I made my list. That would be very embarrassing. I couldn't count on the one that I did in the hospital. So go there. G, I'm going to go with Good For You from Dear Evan Hansen. I have talked about this song at length on the podcast because I think it's a travesty that it was cut out from the movie adaptation. This song, just so much passion and anger, and it was on my best angry songs list. It's amazing. Should have stayed in the movie. One of the best songs in the musical. Good For You, Dear Evan Hansen. H, I'm going to go with Heaven on Their Minds from Jesus Christ Superstar. It just gets that musical started off so well. Andrew Lloyd Webber, it's so amazing. Such a passionate song. And Judas kind of telling his side of it. I love it. Heaven on Their Minds is my H. I was a difficult one for me. This is the one that I have the most songs written down for. So many great songs start with I. And I did say that if it was just like so I'm not going to choose one that just starts with I, even though that works. And so I'm going to kind of cheat and do I'm Alive from Next to Normal. Because it's not just I, it's I'm. But Next to Normal, all the best songs in Next to Normal start with I. I Am the One, I've Been, I'm Alive, I'm Alive. Jack Wolf performing on the West End, fantastic. I love Aaron Fiet on the original Broadway cast recording as well. I'm Alive is such an amazing song from that musical. And it's very cool to see different performers' interpretations of that song. Jack Wolf and Aaron Fiet perform it very differently. I love both of theirs. So that's going to be my pick here. And since I named the other Next to Normal ones, those won't be in my second round picks either. For J, I'm going with Johnny Can't Decide from Tick, Tick, Boom. I love Tick, Tick, Boom. A big Jonathan Larson fan. I am wearing my Rent No Day But Today shirt currently. I talked about Tick, Tick, Boom at length on here. Johnny Can't Decide is a kind of heartbreaking song as it kind of portrays the struggle that Jonathan's going through, and I love it. I love a good heartbreaking song. So moving on to K, I'm going to go with Keep Your Friends Close from Epic. It's not one of my like top 5 songs from Epic the Musical, from Jose Rivera Herranz, but I do think it is my favorite song that starts with the letter K. It is a fun one. The one thing that kind of holds me back from it, I don't necessarily love the Winions playfulness throughout Epic. And so their singing throughout it, I don't love, but the song as a whole, I think is still really solid. L was hard for me because I had 3 that all could have been my first round picks, but I am going to go with another Tick, Tick, Boom classic, and that's Louder Than Words. I love the chorus. I love the message of this song. The lyrics are amazing. So got to go with my heart and gut and go with Louder Than Words. For M, got to go with Michael in the Bathroom from Be More Chill. George Salazar's performance of this song is absolutely amazing. If you haven't, go watch on YouTube just him performing it during their kind of like workshop performances that they did, and it is so emotional and I absolutely love it. I feel like it captures anxiety and loneliness so well. So Michael in the Bathroom is my pick for M. And I'm gonna go with Nobody Needs to Know from The Last 5 Years. Now, This one is the ultimate Jamie being a piece of shit in this, because it's when he's in bed with another woman talking about having an affair and cheating on his wife, and basically saying the same thing as her they'd said to Kathy earlier on. Spoiler alert. But I love Jeremy Jordan's performance of the song from the movie soundtrack, so it's got to be there. And it is a heartbreaking song. And as stated earlier, I do love a good heartbreaking song. For O, I'm going to go with Out There from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The off-Broadway, the cast recording album of this is amazing. Out There is such an amazing song in general. It is so powerful. It's one that I love to just sing at the top of my lungs in the shower, so I had to go with that. For P, I'm going to go with Promises from Hadestown. That's right now what is standing out to me and at the front of my list. I think it's amazing. Even Wazada is fantastic on the cast album, and Hawa Kamara, they were amazing as Eurydice in the performance I saw as well. So gonna go with Promises. For Q, this is one that there's only one Q song that I really enjoy and could throw on here, and that's Quiet from Matilda the musical. I reviewed Matilda with Brad, and I liked that musical so much more than I was expecting. It is from Tim Minchin, who I absolutely adore, and I think is hilarious. I love some of his comedic songs, but I think he does a really good job with Matilda, and I really enjoy the emotion that is portrayed in Quiet. R, I'm going to go with Rockstar from Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson. A little bit of a lesser known one, probably a little bit more cult following on this one, but Rockstar, I absolutely love the hook and the chorus in it. It's amazing, catchy, it'll get stuck in your head. For S, this one was also hard for me. All of these were hard for me, so I'm going to stop saying that. But I'm going to go with She Used to Be Mine from Waitress. Sarah Bareilles writes an amazing soulful song here that just tells the heartbreak for the former version of herself and what she has become. I love it. I do also love Jeremy Jordan's version of it. Brad and I debated that when we reviewed Waitress, but She Used to Be Mine is going to be my S pick. For T, I'm going to go with another concept album one, and that is Tomorrow Begins Today from In the Light by Michael Mott. This one they did a workshop a couple years ago. Antonio Cipriano also featured in this. But I love Tomorrow Begins Today, one of my favorite songs from this production. It has the feel of a grand, sweeping period piece, epic, similar to like a Cyrano or a Phantom of the Opera, or even like a Les Mis, and I love it. So if you haven't checked out the In the Light Highlights concept album, you need to do that. Michael Mott, amazing songwriter. I love this song. For you, I am going to go with Upgrade from Be More Chill. I wanted to throw another Be More Chill one on here, and Upgrade is a very fun number throughout it, and it starts with you, so it fits that mold just perfectly. V, I'm going to go with a TV musical one, and that's Vox Populi from Has Been Hotel. I love Christian Borles and Jeremy Jordan in this. Primarily, I do enjoy Jeremy Jordan's part at the beginning of it. Christian Borles is a little bit more pompous, sweeping, and a different tone, but I love Jeremy Jordan's like rock intro to this song as Lucifer. It's great. I love it. W, I'm going to go with, I've got like 8 here as well. I'm going to go with Who I'd Be from Shrek. I think that is just such a powerful song from that musical, and it was the one that like the most surprised I've ever been from a musical was that seeing Shrek the musical, I was going to be ending the first act with watery eyes. It is such an amazing song. If you haven't heard it, you need to check it out. I've talked about it numerous times here. It's at the top of my listen to list 2 years ago. And it's still always up there because it is such an amazing song, and Brian Darcy James is fantastic in it. All right. X, there's another one that there's not going to be a repeat. This is one that it's my favorite because it's the only one I could find. and that is Xanadu from Xanadu. I haven't even watched all of Xanadu. I've listened to the How Did This Get Made episode on Xanadu and was intrigued, and I know I need to watch Xanadu. That is a cult classic. But the song starts with X, and so it's on the list. That's what I'm going with. I know it feels disingenuous, but it was the only one holding me back from a complete list, so I still had to throw one on here. Why I'm going to go with You Don't Know from Next to Normal. This song is Diana just kind of angry and frustrated with feeling unheard and unseen, and that people are trying to say, well, yeah, I understand what you're going through. And she's like, just trying to get them to see what her pain is actually like and what she's actually dealing with. And no level of empathy can actually account for being the one experiencing those things. So I love it. It is very powerful. Next to Normal is just an amazing, amazing musical. And I'm so glad that we have a pro shot of it now. Closing out that alphabet with Z, we're going to go with Zero to Hero from Hercules. Now, this is one, it has been put on stage, but movie musicals count too. Zero to Hero is just a very fun song. So that completes the run through of the alphabet. We went A to Z in about 15 minutes. We're going to run it back again and do what we can. And I'm going to do my second pick and then maybe the honorable mentions as well. So for A, second pick is going to be Answer 36 from 36 Questions. This was a musical that Sage actually introduced me to, and it is a podcast that is musical. So you can get the album on like Apple Music, Spotify, but to listen to the whole story, it is on podcast feeds. So this is towards the end, very heartbreaking song as well. Noticing a trend here. And so that was my second pick. Honorable mention would be Amazing Grace, How Silent That Sound, as performed by Antonio Cipriano on the A Week Away series on Amazon Prime. Never watched the series, but I do absolutely love that song. For B, my second pick is going to be Bad Idea from Waitress. Very fun song. As Dr. Pomander and Jenna begin their affair. So kind of a shitty thing to do, but it is a fun, upbeat song. The staging, the choreography is fantastic during it too. So watch the Waitress Pro Shop if you haven't already. You just see Sarah Bareilles in the role, and she is amazing. And the honorable mention here would be Bitch, Bitch, Bitch from Jekyll and Hyde. C, I'm going to go with Confrontation from Jekyll and Hyde. At the end, just Jekyll and Hyde battling back and forth, and I've seen different productions do it different ways. Originally, it's the same actor plays Jekyll and Hyde, and so going back and forth, the dexterity of that performance is amazing. A lot of local productions will have two different people playing Jekyll and Hyde, which is completely fair, but Confrontation is amazing. Honorable mention would be Confrontation from Les Mis. D, the honorable mentions that my second round pick is going to be Dear Bill from Operation Mincemeat. I fell in love with this song and a few of the others from Operation Mincemeat lately, which is starting a national tour, and I was hoping we were going to get and did not land one anywhere close to me. Another just very heartbreaking song and emotional song. And then the honorable mention would be Devil Take the Hindmost from Love Never Dies, the sequel to Phantom of the Opera. And that's probably my favorite song from Love Never Dies, with Raoul and the Phantom going back and forth. Love it. Second round pick would be Epiphany from Sweeney Todd. Love this song. One of the best moments in that. Sondheim writes a fantastic score with Sweeney Todd, and Epiphany is at like one of the top of the list for me. F, my second would be For Forever from Dear Evan Hansen. Just a very powerful song, with my honorable mention being Fight For Me from Heathers. Heathers has good F songs. G, I'm going to go with Goodbye Love from Rent. Probably my favorite song from Rent. The full version, not the version that we get in the movie adaptation. The full version of this song and the story that it tells, and all the back and forth with Roger and Mark, and then Roger and Mimi a little bit, and then Mimi herself, everything. It's amazing. I love it. Honorable mention would be Guns and Ships from Hamilton. A very fun one to sing along to. H, I'm going to go with Hello from Book of Mormon. Just a fantastic opening number to that musical that sets the tone. My honorable mentions are going to be Hurricane from Hamilton and Hasadiga Ibawai from Book of Mormon. For I already mentioned the other next to normal ones. If It's True from Hadestown is going to be my second round pick on here. This song, Orpheus just feeling rejected once he's made it down there, and Hades has kind of had him beaten up and turned him away a little bit, and him just trying to come to grips with everyone there just accepting the fate, and if he just needs to give up. So powerful, so good. Honorable mention would be If I Didn't Believe in You from the last 5 years, as well as I Believe from Book of Mormon. J, second round pick would be Judas's Death from Jesus Christ Superstar. This one, I love how Tim Minchin performs this from the staged concert that they did, or staged arena tour performance. So there's a pro shot of that. I love Tim Minchin as Judas and how he portrays that character, and his death is amazing in it. K, second round pick, is going to be King Herod's Song from Jesus Christ Superstar, a very fun number that Josh Gad did amazing as in the Hollywood Bull Run last year. L, I'm going to go with La Vie Boheme from Rent. Super fun number in the middle of that show, closing out the first act. So good. Jonathan Larson, so amazing, so talented. Love all the moments throughout this song. And then my honorable mention is going to be Love Wildly from In Pieces. M, I'm going to go with Meant to Be Yours from Heathers. That's my second favorite song in Heathers. Just at the end, JD is just losing his shit, and it is amazing, revealing his plan. I love it. Love that song. N, I'm going to go with Not Sorry for Loving You from Epic the Musical. One of my favorite songs throughout those 9 concept albums. And then O, I'm going to go with Ohio from In Pieces for my second round pick. And my honorable mention is going to be One Song Glory from Rent. I had a hard time just not putting all the songs from Rent in the different letters that they fell under. But One Song Glory, Roger just kind of telling his story a little bit more, and you see like his motivation. It's his I Want song. So good. P, I'm going to go with The Point of No Return from Phantom of the Opera. I love this moment in the musical. I love this song. The podcast named after Phantom of the Opera. So I had to go with Point of No Return. And the honorable mentions are going to be The Phantom of the Opera and Piss, a love song from Has Been a Hotel. So 2 very different songs, but both still amazing. Like I said, no second round for Quiet. For Q, Quiet was the only one that I really enjoy and found. R, I'm going to go with Ruthlessness from Epic the Musical. I love this moment when Poseidon confronts Odysseus, and it's great. S, I'm going to go with Santa Fe from Newsies, both the regular one and the reprise. Jeremy Jordan in the Broadway adaptation is so good and nails this song. So that's going to be my second round pick, with my honorable mention being Satisfied from Hamilton. T, I'm going to go with This Is the Moment from Jekyll and Hyde, which is right before Henry Jekyll does the first kind of test of the serum on himself that turns him into Hyde. It's just a big sweeping song of him putting everything out there and the stakes of what he's about to do. I love it. Honorable mention will be Thunderbringer from Epic, and Tomorrow is the Latter Day from Book of Mormon. Closes out that musical. I actually had more than I thought. Second round, I'm going to go with The Underworld from Epic. It opens the Underworld saga. It's a great song. The Underworld saga is probably my favorite of the 9 sagas that comprise that musical. And then my honorable mentions are going to be Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid and Useful from Operation Mincemeat. I didn't have another one for V. There were some other Vox ones I could have done, but I didn't. Vox Populi, also name of a 30 Seconds to Mars song. Fun fact. W, I'm going to go with Wait for It from Hamilton. This is one I actually had listed as my first and pivoted to who I'd be from Shrek in the moment. Wait for It is an amazing song, and Leslie Odom Jr. does an amazing an amazing job performing it in the cast recording and the pro shot. Such a powerful song, just revealing Burr's motivations and his heart a little bit more. My honorable mentions are going to be Wait for Me from Hadestown, Waiting on a Miracle from Encanto, and Wheels of a Dream from Ragtime, specifically Joshua Henry's version. He is so good, so talented, and nails that song. No second round for X. For Y, I'm going to go with You Never Know from In Pieces. In Pieces has a strong showing on this list. And then honorable mentions, both from Hamilton, You'll Be Back, and Yorktown, The World Turned Upside Down. And then no other one for Z. So had quite a few songs on there. And I know it's different. And I know this doesn't play on like YouTube as well because I don't have any clips of the song. So if you're like, ooh, I want to hear the musical songs A to Z, well, copyright is a thing. But I encourage you to go out and listen to these. I did make a playlist on Apple Music, so I'm happy to share the playlist. So I'll put it in the description of the episode. Apple Music, if you have Spotify, I'm sorry. But I think there's a way now that you can share to Spotify as well. Maybe. Could be making that up. But I'll post the full list with all my honorable mentions somewhere. Somewhere it will be posted. That is my word to you. I have 3 days to figure it out. I don't really know what I'm going to do for next week's podcast yet. So there will be a watch report coming. I am seeing Dirty Dancing live in concert. So it is live performances, dancing, singing to a performance of the movie. May talk about that. We will see. So stay tuned. I'm going through a super fun thing over this past week where I have both had thoughts and ideas for new fun things I could do for the podcast, and also had thoughts on maybe I just need to be done with the podcast for a while, or at least take a break. So we'll see what happens. We're having a blast these days. So I was wrong about my life getting back to normal. Fun fact. So that's how it works. But it is St. Patrick's Day. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you all survived. Hopefully you all made responsible choices and you decided you want to start your day out with Down Once More. So I did wear green this week, and I am drinking coffee at 5 o'clock on Sunday out of my green Death Wish mug. So it is fitting. But thank you to everyone who takes your time and listens to the podcast. The Love Island review, the Viva Las Villa one, has taken off more. It now has over 66,000 views. I looked and it was like 66.6. And so I'm like, that's a sign. So we will see. I will maybe, if the podcast is still going at that point in June, do Love Island reviews again, because I do have fun with it, even though it is exhausting sometimes. But that's how I feel about life and the podcast. So it is what it is. But subscribe, like, share, comment. Tell me drop your lists of A to Z musical songs. My list is very narrowly scoped into what my favorite ones are. Like, I didn't have to go out and search for most of these. I have my musical favorites playlist, and I was able to go through there and load up almost this entire list. So thank you all. Comment your favorites, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.